Everybody, Earl at thelogbook.com, back for more Infinite Sheep. Although this one's a little bit different. This one is really meant to reach the ears of probably a very small number of people, or even one person. Maybe just the right person. Only one way to find out. This summer, the state that I live in, Arkansas, is going to be the first and only state in the union to have decided, oh yeah, we're doing without PBS. Now, I understand New Jersey Network is also facing this struggle and this decision, but we are, and our state does this often, racing to the bottom. We are already kind of in a constant horse race with other southern states to be number 50 in terms of education. This isn't going to help. There have been a few news articles about people trying to reverse this decision, but let's face it, the decision came about because of a political hack job in Little Rock that was planned out, appoint the right people to the board, right in the eyes of the governor. And these people will do the hatchet job you hired them for, which is get rid of PBS. And with it, any kind of progressive thought that it might be putting on the air, because, clutch pearls, heaven forbid, we learn that there are ways to do things and ways to think other than the way that we do things in this state, which often places us dead last. There have also been a couple of persistent rumors that someone is going to try to bring PBS back, but it just won't be under the banner of what used to be the Arkansas Educational Television Network. It won't be under the Arkansas TV banner, which, Arkansas PBS has already dropped the PBS and changed its name to Arkansas TV. And it's promising that it will produce its own full slate of programming. And by the way, if you're wondering where the political hack job comes in, the people voted to the board who made the decision to ditch PBS. They run a video production company. Gee, I wonder who's going to get the contract to provide all this local programming. No telling. If someone is out there planning a comeback for PBS in this state without it going through the existing network of 5 stations and associated translators that once was Arkansas PBS, you're going to need creative services. Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm in Fayetteville. I could do it from here. But the point is, I'm pretty sure I've got a few years of creative services juice left in me. This would be a good way to bring the career in for a landing, is doing something I believe in. Now, yes, do I need to be able to make ends meet and feed my family and provide for them? Yes, I do need to be able to do that. But this is something I would be very enthusiastic about, to say the least. So, in case you're needing a quick rundown of what I have done lately, because I haven't been in broadcast since 2011. For the past 7 years, I have spent most of that time as technical director of Mission Log Live for Roddenberry Entertainment, which is a weekly, although there are long gaps in between the weeks sometimes. It's a call-in show where we talk to the creative people behind the various Star Trek series, but also let fans call in and kind of interrogate them on those creative choices. And it's very live TV. It's very low budget. That's kind of what I started out doing. In fact, the first directing thing I ever did in broadcast was a call-in show. This is like that, but a bit cooler. It's streaming. It's HD, so I'm not stuck in the standard def days, even though the old broadcast career augured in for a landing in 2011. And there have been other Roddenberry shows and projects such as Mission Log Prodigy, Mission Log The Orville. Currently, Mission Log Reactor is the main thing that I'm working on. And it definitely has a look. Each project I work on looks better than the last. Since the beginning of 2022, I've been the technical director for the Trek Talks live streaming event, which is an 8+ hour telethon of Star Trek luminaries giving talks, during which donations are taken for Hollywood Food Coalition, and attention is also brought to other charities. This has been a tremendously successful event year after year, and it's a real marathon. You sit in the chair and punch the buttons for 8 hours. There are very few instances where you can just walk away from the board. So, you start and end the day sitting in exactly the same place, which is, incidentally, right here. Again, this is a thing that I do from here. Throughout 2023, I was the technical director for the Nichelle Nichols Foundation's live streaming events. And kind of miss those because those were really neat, kind of getting into the weeds of diversity in sciences. And that was, I did not walk out of any of those events not being smarter than I was when I went in. The point is, I've been real busy, and in some ways, I've made the joke many times to my friends that I am atoning for my former TV news career by now doing stuff that puts some net good back into the world. It would be really neat if the last act of that career is something that does that on a big scale, which would be bringing PBS back to Arkansas. So, if you are out there, if you are the person who is thinking of doing this, and if you're having any thoughts about doing this, get in contact with me. I can't do it for free, but I can do it. And that would be a good note to go out on.